All right. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us for your candidate interview.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what neighborhood you're in, what clubs or groups you're a part of?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm Dan Noeth. I have served on the board for 4 years. I've lived in Sweetgrass for 6 years. My wife Marie and I moved here in May of 2019. We live in Windflower. We actually live right on the corner where the Windflower Monument is on Del Webb Boulevard. We absolutely love the community. It's everything we hope for and a whole lot more. We have been incredibly active. She belongs to the women's club. I belong to the men's club. I do the IT help desk. I belong to the financial education club. We do day trippers. We do that's entertainment. So we really take full advantage of all of the offerings, as many as it hit our interest level, that Sweetgrass offers, and we just think it's an incredible place to live and feel very, very blessed to be here.
Well, great. Why don't we dive right into our questions for today? What motivated you to run for the HOA board again?
It was a very challenging decision because on one front, I feel very strongly that we need to have term limits. Should that be 4 years, 6 years, 8 years? I'm not sure what the right term is, but I don't believe someone should stay on the board. And if you can get new blood, you should seek new blood, new ideas. That being said, there was some unfinished business. We don't have the cameras installed. I've worked on that for nearly 3 years now. We don't have although I want to say this, the cameras are on order, they're coming, and should be in either sometime in late August or in September. We also don't have our traffic easing equipment in yet. We have it approved by the county, but we're now in the contracting phase. That needs to be wrapped up and done. So I felt like that I could contribute significantly to. The other thing is there are some things on the horizon that worry me significantly for the broader Sweetgrass, for everyone here. Number one, Del Webb, Rye Hill Del Webb, however you say it, is going to open in 2026. It's 4 miles from here. It's going to be new and pretty, and everybody likes new and pretty. Now, they're probably not going to like what it costs, but we are definitely going to be facing challenges in competing with that, which we really have not had a close competitor, geographically close competitor, for some time. So that's a big issue for me. Not having yet passed the amendment to our CCR is allowing us to increase the transfer fee, which will help make us more financially stable. Our finances took a big hit last year with the hurricane and all the expenses that were associated with that. We have another big hit coming with our Ceresco unit over the swimming pool. So you bundle all that together, and then perhaps the biggest thing was Bruce leaving. Bruce, love him or hate him, he has contributed significantly to the success of this community. You don't become president and everybody love you. It's sad, but that's just the way life is. But Bruce has done a great job seeing us through transition and then serving us for the first 4 years. He's earned his time to be in retirement, and I just felt like it would be best if I would stay one more term, but I do believe this will be my last term. So.
Well, thank you for that. What experience do you have that you believe will benefit our community?
Well, first of all, I'm serving on the board now, so that's big, having had that experience. But also, in my professional career, I have been an entrepreneur. My wife and I started a small costume jewelry company that grew to 60 plus stores in 16 states. It was just an incredible experience for us. I have been a part of small organizations, medium, even large. I was vice president of supply chain for a large healthcare organization up in Illinois. So that experience alone on the business side provides me the guidance or the guardrails, if you will, and pathway to watch over Sweetgrass from a business perspective. From a board perspective, not only have I served on this board, I've served on other boards, including youth sports and churches, etc. So I have a pretty strong background in serving on boards and business that should positively help the Sweetgrass community.
Okay, great. How familiar are you with the current bylaws, rules, and regulations of our HOA, and have you read all of our governing documents?
Unfortunately, I know them backwards and forwards. Having served on the board for 4 years now, we always have to refer back to, well, what do our governing documents say? I've read them backwards and forwards. I will tell you, it is my personal belief that they need to be rewritten. The governing documents refer to the declarant, who was Pulte, 700 times. They refer to the resident 60 plus times. So consequently, guess who they're protecting? They're not protecting the residents, they're protecting the declarant, who is no longer here. So it is an incredibly challenging and expensive, you got to deal with the attorneys to get that redone. But it is something that needs to be redone, and in fact we're doing our first test case with changing the transfer fee that will require the 66 2/3 positive vote, not plurality, positive. For every one person we get that votes no, we have to have 2 people that vote yes. So, and we have to have over 1,000 people vote. We've never had 1,000 people vote in any election. So it's going to be a challenge, but that will give us some guide to what would it really take to change the CCRs. But we do need to change them, in my opinion, at some point.
How much time are you able to commit to your role as an HOA board member?
I'm sure you. I do know. HOA boards are very significantly. I've served on 2 of them now, but I can tell you, serving on the Sweetgrass board can be very easy, and it can be very challenging. I've had weeks where I only spend maybe an hour. I've had weeks where it's 35 or 40 hours a week. This last year has been incredibly challenging with the hurricane and the roof and the fence and the hogs and the trails, and I mean, it's just been an incredibly challenging year. My wife sometimes refers to herself as an HOA widow, because I'm in my office and on the phone with residents or with Kelly or other board members. So I'm retired. This is it. This is what I do. It allows me to keep some of my professional skills up while still allowing me to be retired, because I'm right here. And I do like serving on the board most of the time, not always, but it has been a very rewarding experience over the last 4 years.
Well, good. Thank you. So you currently serve on our HOA board. Is there anything about the experience that you would like to share?
Well, I think it is, it's like I kind of just referred to, it is a mixed feeling. Sometimes you get very nasty letters, very nasty comments, but on the whole, that's coming from a very, very, very small minority. Our people here are incredibly grateful to live here. First of all, if you weren't somewhat successful in life, you don't live here, because it does cost money to live here. Also, you're seeking a quality of life that is outside the norm. You want to be active, you want to be social. So it is a wonderful place to live. It is something that serving on the board is very rewarding towards, because we get to improve upon what you have. Sometimes we have to enforce rules, right? That's part of the gig. But on the whole, we get many more compliments than we do detractors, I'll just say that.
Well, great. Thank you. How would you ensure that your actions as a board member are aligned with the overall needs of our community, rather than pursuing a specific personal agenda or goal, or the goal of a particular club or group?
Well, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm in a lot of clubs and groups, and all of them want something, and almost all of them want something from the HOA. But really, I think I've been able to demonstrate that I serve as the liaison to the safety committee. It's near and dear to my heart because I think safety is one of the biggest things that an HOA board provides to their community. That being said, sometimes the things I wanted to support and push through had to take a back seat because we needed a landscaping initiative done. We needed a management services initiative done. We needed the hurricane to be recovered from. So I think I've been able to do that with the right amount of balance. That being said, it doesn't mean that I still don't want those things done, but they have to be done in a prioritized manner and with the best interest of the entire community.
Okay, thank you. How do you approach conflict resolution, especially when dealing with disagreements among residents or board members?
Well, first of all, I mentioned earlier that I was vice president of supply chain for a very large healthcare organization. I saw more conflict in that role than you can possibly imagine. Doctors, nurses, administrators, clinicians, maintenance people, and everybody wants something, right? And so it was my job to spend nearly $1 billion a year wisely and meet everyone's needs. So I think the first big thing, how do you manage conflict, is you listen. Because responding immediately of, oh, well, what you think is really irrelevant when you're managing conflict. What you need to do is understand the other person. Many times, all that other person wanted to do was have an outlet. Just listen to me. Someone please listen. So after you listen, then you need to process and analyze. A lot of times people want immediate action, and particularly from board members. Why can't we just have this? Why can't you just do that? Why did this person get a violation notice? Or why did I get a violation notice? Well, first of all, why did you get it? What were the circumstances? Had you received one before? All of these things. So after you've kind of processed and analyzed, then respond. But also, when you are giving a negative message, there's two ways to give it. You can make someone look forward to a trip, or you can make them dread each inch of the trip. And so I think a lot of times it's in how you present that end result. So I think in summary, it's listen, analyze and process, and then respond in a timely manner, in a meaningful and caring manner.
Okay, thank you. What role do you see yourself playing on the board?
We had this same question 4 years ago, and I'll kind of answer it the same way. I am very blessed to be one of those people that I can lead, follow, or get out of the way. Last time I answered it that I thought perhaps vice president, director at large. This time, because Bruce is leaving, I probably have the most tenure in the leadership positions. Larry's been on an equal amount of time, but he loves the treasurer role. So I think this time it is probably president, but if the other members of the board would prefer that someone else do it, I can do either one. But I think this time it is probably, given the challenges that we're going to be facing and having the professional and board experience that I do, I think probably this time it would be president.
Okay, thank you. How would you handle a situation where a board decision you supported was unpopular with a significant portion of the community?
This is one that is very challenging, but also one that I can provide you multiple examples of. Perhaps the most recent one was the walking trails. Nearly, not everyone in this community, but a large portion of the community wanted us to respond immediately and come out against the walking trails, and why aren't we doing that and whatever. First of all, I can tell you all 5 board members were against that. However, we also sought the counsel of our attorney of how should we respond, what's appropriate. And so when you're on the board, you can't always just respond as you would as a person, right? You have that responsibility you're acting as the administrator of a legal entity, right? So we have to do things the right way. So our attorney had advised us take it under advisement, let him do some more research, and we communicated that to the community. But the community, on a lot of them, were not satisfied with that answer. We said that we would look at it and get back to them. So the community really wanted a quick and easy answer. Ultimately, I think for a large portion of the community, we responded in a manner and in a way that they were happy with. That being said, we had people that wanted that trail. They wanted to have more access from the outside. So we didn't make everybody happy by doing that, but it is sometimes challenging. And 2 times in my life, I have not done what my attorney said. Both times I paid dearly for not doing so. So I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but I will do it very cautiously. We're very blessed to have a wonderful attorney that represents us and is on retainer for us. But I think we just have opportunities sometimes to take a breath. And just because the community wants it doesn't mean we have to do it right away again. Sometimes analyze, process, and let's see how the long-term betterment for the community comes to be.
Okay, thank you. What do you believe is the most important role of an HOA board member?
Unquestionably, it is your home values. Now, how you get to that is very, very challenging. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big proponent of safety. If you're not safe, your home values are not going to be high. But those 2 things, home value and safety. After that, it is what contributes to home values going up. I can tell you last year they dipped a bit. It was a national trend. It wasn't a local trend. But we monitor, the board, monitors the home sales throughout our community. I can tell you in the last 6 months, home sales are up 30%. I can tell you the average home is, we track them by garden, estate, and classic, right? I can tell you 40% of the homes sold here are in the classic. Approximately, it's a little bit one way or the other, 30% are estate and garden homes that are sold. Homes, although the prices are up a little bit, they're sitting longer on the market to sell them. So we really monitor home values, and I think to a person, everyone on the current board understands our job is to make certain that we support the maintenance or increase of home values, and in doing so, we have to do all the other things that support that.
Good, thank you. How do you prioritize the needs of the community when resources are limited?
Well, first of all, resources are always limited when you're dealing with an HOA. We have so many challenges here because our building is aging. Our landscaping needs are tied, it's $900,000 a year to landscape and cut and keep this place looking pristine as possible. So it is always tied to inflation. Whatever inflation does is going to crimp our resources. So I think the very first thing is you have to take care of your maintenance. Take care of your existing things first. Take care of your physical plant, your building, your swimming pools, the landscaping, and that. After that, then we can talk about lifestyle. Unfortunately for you, Laurie, you come second. But it is very important that we maintain our buildings and do the maintenance and preventative maintenance. That's not saying we can't prioritize those things, right? Can we not replace carpeting till next year? I don't know. Let's look at it and see. It's scheduled to be done this year. So it's really a question of prioritization after maintenance, but we have to maintain our physical plant before we do anything else.
Okay, thank you. What experience do you have with budgeting and financial management? I know you said you were with the Financial Education Club. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, actually I'm a speaker at the Financial Education Club. I have been on multiple topics. But going back to my professional life, right? Managing $1 billion spend and that was over capital equipment and purchase services and prioritizing the money to the best possible use. I worked for a group of sisters, and if you've ever worked for a group of nuns, the C in Catholic also stands for cash. They love both. So that was a very challenging job. Also, my wife and I owned the costume jewelry store. It was over 65 states, and how do we manage expansion versus inventory? And we were incorporated every state, every store, the holding company. It all had their own financial statements. So we managed that, and ultimately to selling the company to Woolworth. It is pretty vast. I was also treasurer of our 1,100 family church, and many other organizations I was treasurer of. So I know balance sheets and I know profit and loss statements. Now, I'm a CPA. I absolutely am not. We have a magnificent finance committee here that supports us incredibly. So I believe I can give the right look to it, but also seek professional help when needed.
How would you balance the need for maintenance and improvements with the financial constraints of the community?
Well, it's kind of similar to the question we talked about earlier. Maintenance comes at the top of the heap of everything, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we can't postpone some things. It doesn't mean that everything has to be absolutely pristine every second. But by the same token, if you don't take care of things, I think probably one of the biggest things that people can identify with here is the roof jacks that are on their house. Pulte, when they did that, put in rubber roof jacks that eventually crack and bleed. The water bleeds into your home. If you don't replace them prior to that happening, you are going to have a ceiling repair. And if you only replace one, you will have multiple ceiling repairs. So it's the same kind of thing here. Our building's getting older. The building is as old as many of the homes, or older than many of the homes in the neighborhood. And we're replacing air conditioners in our homes. We're replacing water heaters in our homes. Our lake house is much the same thing. We've had to redo our swimming pools. We're going to have to replace the carpeting soon here. We've already replaced it in the gym. We've replaced all of our gym equipment. So these things will continue to be, but I think maintenance has to come right at the top of that.
Okay, thank you. Any final thoughts that you would like residents to take away from your interview?
I think first of all, like I said, Sweetgrass is a paradise for us. In all the world things that are happening, and you read about all of the crime and violence and whatever, even our sheriff will tell you, we live in one of the safest communities here. Our neighborhood watch program is incredibly active. We are blessed to have them. We're blessed to have the day trippers, and That's Entertainment, and the singers, and the drama club. I mean, think of the literally tens of thousands of hours that go in every year to keeping this place running, and it's not paid staff that does it. You all do an amazing job, but at the end of the day, what makes Sweetgrass is the people that volunteer. And so as I volunteer one more time to run for the board, I would just ask people to think about the job I've done. And if you think of some of the things that I've brought to the community, the Hertz discount, the fine parking discount, the Sherwin-Williams, the GPO to help us buy those things. My experience, I've been very blessed in the work life I've had, and I'm able to give those things to the community. I would like to continue to give them, and so for that reason, I would just ask everyone to really consider voting for me one more time, because this is probably going to be the last time you get to do it. So, but thanks so much for having given me the opportunity to serve all of you, because I think all of us, not our board, not our staff, not our residents, it's a combined effort that has led us to be ranked number one by HoustonProperties.com. We're going to celebrate today that incredible achievement. But when people come to look at Houston, and if they're looking for 55 and over communities, this is the place. So thank you, and once again, I ask everybody to give me their vote.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today. Good luck.
Thank you.